So, I want to talk about this time of year for me. This time of year usually leads to a string of depression because of some stuff that's happened in my life before. And it's kind of been a thing for about 8 years now, where enough things have happened in this time of the year that I guess either I didn't come to terms with it or I didn't cope, and I didn't deal with it, or I didn't mourn, or whatever. And I tried therapy a couple times, and that was super scary. Or it turned out bad, and it had some negative effects on me. And that was just because they were bad psychologists. So, around this time of year started, it was like all before 2009 or 2010 to 2009. While I did go through a bunch of stuff in my childhood, like, my adult life hadn't been that bad. I managed to make it through my minimum wage jobs and support myself, and had a good supportive team from my boyfriend at the time and his family. And, me and Mom and Papa were really supportive. So in 2009 in October was when the first of the tragedies started. And that was when my Papa died. He fell, and his potassium levels had caused him to fall, and he broke his arm. And then from 5 months, from May until October, he really just had a hard time recovering. And he put him in hospice, and that's when he passed away. Alright. So then, my mother was in the hospital in 2010, February, March, and April. Mima was in the hospital in October and March. And like, I can remember these things because I've been seeing the on this day posts to know when all of it happened. So in March of 2010 was when Mima was in the hospital. Mom was in the hospital. We were in the hospital at the same time. Mima needed to have a colonoscopy and have her organs checked out, and Mom just wasn't doing well recovering. She would overdose on pills a lot, and oxycodone and all that kind of stuff. And she just wasn't taking very good care of herself. And Kimmy tried, but Kimmy was a 17-year-old girl just trying to get through high school. March, and during that specific time, was also when I was raped. And I'm very gray on it. Like, for me, it wasn't a consensual thing. But also I was scared. And I was scared because of the lessons my mother had taught me, and my mother had pushed on me. And it's not his fault if I had made my stance clear. I think he might have respected that. But for me at the time, it was rape. In April 26th, 20 days after my birthday, Mom had taken a bunch of oxycodones that she had gotten she wasn't supposed to have. And that's when her lungs failed her. She couldn't recover. Kimmy said she attempted suicide for attention so that she wouldn't be left alone. But since her body couldn't recover, she couldn't recover. But Mom was also sort of suicidal. We didn't seek the emotional and mental help that we were supposed to have. And she didn't believe in that. And in fact, she would make fun of people and talk down to them. And I think that's because she wanted her problems to be noticed, but nobody ever noticed. And this was... she was born in the 60s, so none of that stuff was talked. It wasn't as talked about as it is now. The problems that people go through. And 2011 wasn't that bad. I don't remember anything happening in 2011. 2012, someone I had known for 13 years, in February, went into a cardiac arrest and died. She was 32 years old. 2013, in March, I had my gallbladder removed because I had gone through a lot of pain. And I couldn't work out as much as I wanted to, and, I struggled with that a lot. And the person that I had a strong unrequited love for had committed suicide in April of 2013. 2014 in February is when Dad found out he had cancer. And I saw him in April, and he passed away in May in 2014. 2015, I don't think anything happened to me. Someone else had some pains, and I helped them through that. But that was in the middle of the year. 2016 was in my hardest part when Mima was suffering from Alzheimer's. I had divvied up going to work and spending half of the week when I wasn't at work at Mima's house, helping make sure she was eating and taking her medications and stuff like that. We hired a nurse. My fiance at the time was deployed. I couldn't handle that. And I tried to communicate as best as I could. And I couldn't handle Mima. And I couldn't handle the emotions and the pain that I was feeling. So I tried to cling to somebody else. And he couldn't accept that either. That was also the year I wanted to kill myself the most. Of all the pain that I've gone through in different circumstances, that was when I wanted to die the hardest. I wanted to not live anymore. Even though Mima relied on my existence to help her get to where she can get the care she needs. I took some medicine, didn't really help. And every time I've gone through these things, I've sought help somehow, some way. And it fails me. And then I just buckle up, just suck it up, and just deal with it. But I don't really deal with it. Like, it's more like I shove it down into the deep, dark reaches of my insides. And since now there's a lot of these stacks of problems, I can't even deal with other people usually talking to me about theirs. I'm torn down and I'm hurt a lot. Around the same time, March and April in 2017, I was dating somebody and felt unwanted and unloved. And it was just a bad fit. And in February this year, I broke up with somebody. And so I decided to go to see therapy. And I'm going to try that. I have my first appointment tomorrow. I just wanted to talk about it somewhere. I don't have anything funny. I haven't been able to post anything funny or make funny voices because I talk to myself when I get depressed and, well, don't talk to myself, but in my brain it says shit like, nobody gives a fuck about you doing this, and, you're never going to be loved, things that I've dealt with my whole life. No one's ever really going to love you. You're not worth anything, you're fat, and you're ugly. And I deal with those pretty regularly. Just at this time of year, it becomes harder to deal with. And I acknowledged the other day that I was feeling passively suicidal. When you feel passively suicidal, it's basically, you really won't care if something happens to you that equals your death. Now, you don't actively do it, but you're also kind of like, man, I wouldn't care if a car T-boned the driver's side of my car today because someone was texting and driving. That's how you feel about it. So I was thinking about it, and I wanted to make this post. And this is gonna go on my Bleeding Carousel, YouTube, because I don't think people should hide the things that they hide. I think the expectations that we feel about one another are kind of ridiculous. Our perspectives won't change. We don't want to listen to anybody else that has a different perspective. And we don't want to know anyone else's life story that doesn't involve us. And you don't have to really care about my life story. But I wanted to explain that I really do feel guilty when I don't make a new video. Even just to because I want to light up people's days. I want to make people feel, oh, that was funny, that was silly, or, lighthearted for just a second. Because that's how I like to feel. I write a comic because I want to express the different things that I learned about different types of people. I want to write a book because I want to write about pain and sarcasm and how to cope with it in a anecdotal, funny kind of way. I want, when I give gifts, people to appreciate them. I want people to understand that life is hard work. Sometimes for some people, getting out of the bed is a miracle. And some people try. They don't want to feel that way. They acknowledge they don't want to feel that way. I do. And then I'm like, well, I can't stop this train wreck that's coming. So you should know that I'm sort of one of those people that goes through stuff like that. And right now, I'm feeling super disheartened and hurt. And I looked at my phone today, and I was like, who can I call and talk to? And then I realized, nobody. I couldn't call and talk to anybody. Nobody wants to hear. I don't have enough close friends. Because I can't keep up with my problems, I can't help them keep up with theirs. So I can't expect them to help me keep up with mine. I wanted to talk to my best friend, but I don't want to stress him out because he just had a baby. He should have all the time in the world for his baby. Tried to call my sister, but she was stressed out about her own things. I can never call my best friend. He's busy with a girlfriend right now. And one of my other best friends, well, it's complicated. And then there's people that offer, but I don't think they can handle it. Because they can't handle I watch them not be able to handle their own stuff. And sometimes I just want to talk. Just to be distracted. Because that's what we all do now. We don't deal with our problems anymore. We try to distract from their existence. We don't introspect them and think about where they come from or why they're there, where their derivatives are. And then I just want to share. Because I do think about stuff like that. My hair's a mess, sorry. I'm a mess. I left work today because I kept having dizzy spells. It should be okay. How people feel in their experiences should be okay. So, that's what I go through in this time of year. There's always something. And hopefully nothing tragic will happen by the end of April. But if you watch this video and you use 15-ish minutes of your life to watch it and listen, thank you. And I hope you guys have a good day or night.